Order, please. It's a little difficult for the chair to follow the words of the right honourable gentleman. Perhaps we should have order.
This indicates how far liberalism has gone along the road of dictatorship under this government. That's all. Okay. Let me quote. Like the Black Panthers, all the revolutionary groups must prepare for armed revolution. Page after page, dealing with such people as Pierre Valliere, who I think was picked up during the night, the president of the Treasury Board indicates that that's correct. In that, the call for a manifestation on behalf of Valliere, a terrorist out on bail, and under it said, Vive la Révolution, Vive Pierre Valliere, and he's been wandering around for how long? Spreading his poison everywhere, sedition committed by him over and over again. But would this government touch him?
No.
It's difficult to understand why it was they did not speak. Well, now, the honourable member knows something about some of these characters. Starkon. It's been a close pal of his. I wouldn't have brought that up if the honourable gentleman didn't want to have honourable mention. Why didn't you pick up Starkon in the last several weeks when he's been issuing statements that are seditious and against the law? Why? Why? Oh, where? Where was Starkon? Where was Starkon? Where was he last night? You just discovered him during the night. You didn't need these powers in order to get him. Why didn't you think a man who was spreading this kind of falsehood?
Order, please. I have to remind the right honourable gentleman that he should address the chair.
I so entirely agree with you, but when the honourable gentleman seeks the limelight, I want to be assured that he gets it. So, Mr. Speaker, this honourable member, this minister, says that the reason they didn't pick him up until 4 o'clock this morning or whatever it was, because they didn't know where he was. I asked him, was there ever a warrant issued for his arrest for sedition? He enjoyed particularly warm feelings with some of those in the government. And possibly it wasn't until 4 o'clock this morning that, like the phoenix, he rose out of his own ashes. And when the honourable minister interrupts, I remind him that when on a number of occasions I brought before this House the danger of bringing American revolutionaries into Canada who advocated revolution from one end of Canada to the other, blood and revolution. Reuben, who advocated the killing of the parents of each of those members of his organization, kill and kill, turn over the government and blood. And what did the honourable member say in answer to me? Well, after all, we believe in free speech. Is that why Starkon wasn't brought up? Because the government believed in free speech? No. The Prime Minister endeavored to leave the impression today that this suddenly had arisen, and he was deeply shocked. Certainly the kidnappings were for the first time committed. But what about the 2,000 pounds of dynamite that was stolen recently? What about the bombings? What about the attempts on railroads? What about the killing of innocent Canadians? The government, excepting for in a very few cases where prosecutions took place, did nothing. And they opened up Canada's doors with a red carpet and said, "Come, believing, come. Come to Canada." And they went across Canada and they preached the most diabolical doctrine. And the answer of the Prime Minister and the answer of the Minister of Regional Affairs was, "After all, we believe in free speech." Is that the reason the government didn't pick up Cartron? Because his free speech was a crime over and over again against the sedition provisions of the criminal code. Why was not action taken in this regard? And how did it deal with the courts? This information was before the government. Call on all comers to attend the trial of Charles Gagnon. Was he picked up yesterday? Oh, Charles was picked up yesterday too. Oh. What a coincidence. They get the power to do something which they could exercise at any time. And Charlie's been around for months and months, and the government knew where he was. The minister that I've been speaking of during the last few minutes knew where Gagnon was. And it tells you what to do. It says, adherents are urged to fill the court every Wednesday. It seems certain that the jury is impressed by the presence of numerous supporters of the court. And so on. Lemieux. Well, I mustn't speak disrespectfully of him, because he's been in a position of being an arbitrator, plenipotentiary, but his statements in the last several months have aroused people of the kind he endeavors to arouse to revolution in Canada. Why was no action taken against him? You let these people, the government of Canada, let these people run wild. Free speech is what the 2 or 3 ministers said. Strange thing that the three were the triumvirate, the Prime Minister, and the Minister of Regional Affairs, and above all, the conscience, the Secretary of State. Well, Mr. Saulnier brought all this before the committee. He pointed out that the FLQ was organizing through the instrumentality of a government agency. And what happened? Nothing. A year went by. No attention paid whatever to the representations that were made of these two gentlemen. The Mayor of Montreal, a tremendous power in the public life of our country, and Mr. Saulnier, who dared to speak out, and they were pushed aside and the government walked on the other side of the street. Endeavor to lead Canadians to think today that suddenly this has come out. Now, sir, I read a few quotations from Mr. Saulnier. He says, I gave these facts to the Prime Minister of Canada on several occasions. The Prime Minister today, when I mentioned that he knew, he put up his hands to his nose in a way that one could fully understand the meaning. The Secretary of State closed his eyes. I can understand why he did. They pardon? I can conclude. Now, well, that's the first intelligent interruption of the Honorable in a long while. I say to him that what you permitted in the organization of young Canadians...
Order, please. Order, please. I have to remind the right honourable gentleman first that he should address the chair, and secondly that it is 1 o'clock and that I must now leave the chair. L'être comme il est 1 heure, je quitte maintenant le fauteuil.